When entire industries start shrinking overnight, when jobs that felt stable yesterday just vanish, it's not just a layoff, it's a wake-up call. It's a reminder that the world we built our plans around, well, it's shifting under our feet. Hello, and welcome back, my fellow entrepreneurs. I'm Kim, your host of Small Business Big AI, the podcast that's your lifeline in the fast-moving world of artificial intelligence. And as always, I'm here to help you, the small business owner, not just survive, but thrive in this AI-driven revolution. Because together, we're building technology-enabled superpowers. Now, let's face it, the world feels like it's shifting under our feet. We're seeing headlines about massive layoffs, a volatile stock market, the sale of TikTok, and global trade tensions as a result of global tariffs. Whoa! And as I said in a recent LinkedIn post, when entire sectors shrink overnight, it's not just a layoff, it's a wake-up call. But here's the thing no one talks about. In every shakeup, in every seismic change, there's opportunity rising in the cracks. Now, maybe you've been laid off. Maybe someone close to you has. Or maybe you're just feeling that itch, that nudge that says, what if I built something of my own? So today's episode is not about pity or wallowing in bad news, and it's not about panic. It's about power, rising from the ashes of layoffs, navigating this market mayhem. Because right now, right here in this window of economic chaos and AI revolution, well, you've got the chance to build something that couldn't have even existed even 2 years ago, not without capital and not without a team. But today, all you need is an idea and a willingness to think like a builder, because the rules of business are being rewritten. And for once, they're being written by people like you, small business owners, side hustlers, first-time founders, people with a skill, a perspective, a fire. And guess what? AI just leveled the playing field. So in this episode, I'm going to show you how to use that to your advantage, how to think, act, and build like someone who's not waiting for permission, but owning this moment. So, if you've been wondering, is this the sign that I've been waiting for? It is. Now, let's get into it. Now, here's the truth that no one wants to say out loud. So, some of the companies that laid people off last month, well, they saw the writing on the wall last year, and they waited, they hoped, they delayed. So, let's talk about something that's been sold to us for generations, and that's the idea of a safe job. You know, the 9 to 5, the steady paycheck, the gold watch at retirement. It's the dream, right? But that dream, well, it's been quietly unraveling. And now it's cracked wide open. And you know what? That's a warning for all of us. That comfortable illusion of job security, it was always just that, an illusion. And here's the really uncomfortable truth. With AI accelerating at breakneck speed, that illusion is disappearing faster than ever. Because this moment, right now, isn't just a tough season. It's a turning point, a rewrite of the playbook. We are living through the founding chapter of the next generation of business. So ask yourself this: are you building a future, or are you just waiting for the next shoe to drop? Because here's the thing: every delay is costing you momentum. And in this new economy, momentum is everything. Now, if you had to rebuild your income from scratch, say this week, where would you even start? And if the thought of that happening to you made your stomach flip a little bit, well, that's good. That's your signal. That's your edge. That's your invitation to stop outsourcing your certainty and start building it. The world is inviting you into a new way of thinking. Because here's the truth. See, for decades, we were raised to fit into other systems, but that model is broken. And now? Well, now you have the chance to design your own, not in some cute Pinteresty type of way, but in a real income generating, build your own kind of future way. In AI, AI is not just a helper or a tool. It's the foundation beneath this new era. It's the foundation of how businesses get built from here forward. But don't get it twisted. Don't get distracted by the noise. This isn't about learning another hot tool or watching another webinar. It's about thinking like someone who was born for this moment. Someone who says, I don't need to build like it's 2013. I don't need to spend 6 figures on a business launch. I can prototype, test, refine, and scale faster and smarter than ever. And you know what? Here's the wild part. The people who are winning right now, they're not necessarily tech wizards. They're the ones asking better questions. They're the ones unafraid to reimagine the job, the product, the customer journey. So here's a question for you. What part of your industry feels frustrating, outdated, or maybe even broken? And what would it look like if you reimagined it from the ground up with AI as your co-architect? Because somewhere inside that friction, that annoying inefficiency or outdated practice is the seed of a business, a new system, an opportunity, a version of you that isn't waiting for another job offer. For the first time in history, AI is leveling the playing field, making it possible for anyone with a good idea and a little bit of hustle to build a successful business. And that's the opportunity in front of you right now, not in theory, but in reality, not for someone else, but for you. So if it feels like the old rules don't make sense anymore, well, good. They don't. You get to write the new ones. But before you go buying a domain name, let's get real about what you need to build first. Enter Hal. He'll be joining me for what I call the AI Native Advantage, a new era of entrepreneurship where the barriers to entry have changed. If you want to go from overwhelmed to in command when it comes to AI, check out my Impact Framework course. The link is in the show notes. Now, if you're still here, then I already know something about you. You're not just listening, you're leaning in. You're not here to just be a spectator. You're here because you feel this shift. Now, maybe you don't have all the answers yet, but something inside you knows this is the time to move. And who better to join me in this part of the conversation than my favorite co-host in life and in business, Hal. Hey, welcome back, Hal.
Great to be here, Kim.
So, Hal, let's cut right to it. For thousands, March wasn't about losing a job. It was about losing certainty, having the foundation crumble under their feet, ushering in chaos.
But in chaos, something quietly rises: opportunity. In times of disruption, when the old systems break, the old rules stop applying. That's when builders win. They seize the moment, take the initiative to build something new, something better, with AI as their advantage.
Yeah, the AI native advantage. So let's talk about what's actually possible right now.
Here's the part they don't tell you in business school or your corporate exit interviews, Kim. Entrepreneurial leverage has never been greater.
Oh, say it again, Hal, because it's not a motivational quote. It's a strategic fact.
Yes, to all our small business, big AI insiders, you never had more power, more access, or more freedom to build lean, build fast, or build real. Why? Because the gatekeepers are gone. Funding, talent, software, time, they've all been flattened by AI.
And you don't need a big budget. You don't need a 10-person team. You just need a clear idea, a smart approach, a strategic mind.
Exactly. Old rule: it takes money to make money. New rule: it takes a clear vision and a willingness to learn. The biggest shift, and I want to be crystal clear about this, is about strategy, not just tools.
So let's get really specific here, Hal. So, listeners, what's the last thing you waited on? A designer? A gatekeeper? Someone else's green light?
Now ask yourself, what would change if you just moved? What if you built the first version this week?
Because that's exactly what's possible now. We are no longer in a world where your idea needs 6 months of development and investor backing just to see the light of day.
You can move from concept to contact, from idea to paying customers in days, not because it's easy, but because the overhead is gone. What used to take thousands of dollars and teams of specialists, now it takes curiosity and courage.
And let me be crystal clear, my fellow entrepreneurs. The edge doesn't come from knowing how to use every AI tool. It comes from knowing what to do with the freedom that those tools create.
Exactly. If you weren't waiting on anyone, what would you build today? If nobody had to approve it, what would you launch next week? That's the mindset. Not stress, not overwhelm, just clarity and confidence. You are more capable than ever before. And if you don't yet believe that, trust me, you'll get left behind by someone who does. So stop looking for old ladders and start building your own staircase.
So, time to take it to the table. Coffee table conversations with Kim and Hal are next. We'll walk you through a strategy first playbook on how to start thinking and building like someone who's AI native. This is where the rubber meets the road. Stay tuned. Ready to unlock the power of AI for your small business? Well, don't just listen. Become a small business big AI insider. Subscribe and get ready to dominate. All right, whether you're tuning in from your kitchen table, a truck on the road, or the corner office of your side hustle, it's time to grab your favorite mug and join us for Coffee Table Conversations with Kim and Hal. Now, this is where we loosen the tie, drop the jargon, and get real about how to use strategy, not stress, to move forward.
Okay, Kim, you're assuming everyone's stationary. What if I'm driving? How am I going to grab the coffee mug if I'm on the road?
Drive through Starbucks, my dear. Starbucks, no excuses.
Yeah, yeah. Should have known that would be on your mind here. But let's switch gears because we're talking about building like an AI native.
And there's nobody I'd rather have at the table than you, Hal. The guy who's helped build and turn around multiple companies across different industries. And honestly, one of the sharpest strategy minds that I know. Now, you're not easily impressed by trends. So if you're fired up about this AI native shift, I want everyone listening to really hear you.
Blushing a little bit over here. Thank you. But let's get into it because this moment we're living in, it's not hype, it's historic. The entrepreneurs who get this right, who lean into the shift, they're not just going to survive. They're going to redefine what success looks like.
So let's kick off the playbook. Now, step one, don't chase shiny. Solve real. Start with a problem that actually matters.
Right. Too many people fall in love with their idea before they met the problem. If you want to strike gold, look for pain. Ask yourself, what's broken, what's outdated, what's inefficient, or just plain annoying them in the real world today. That's the zone of opportunity.
And this is where AI becomes your discovery partner, not by thinking for you, but by helping you validate what people are already searching for, complaining about, or spending money on to fix. If you know how to communicate with it strategically.
Oh, I see what you did there. You put in a little plug for your course, a strategic, non-technical approach to communicating with the AI, using the impact framework to level the playing field, gain a competitive advantage.
You got it. Nothing like a shameless plug, right?
Okay, so back to the playbook. Step 2. This is where most new entrepreneurs get stuck. They're focused on doing the work instead of designing the system. But when you build like an AI native, you start thinking, why can't I design once and let AI run for me? What could I automate once and never have to repeat manually again? That's how you stop trading time and start building leverage. That mindset right here, that's freedom.
Yeah, it's the difference between being a freelancer and being a founder. One earns by the hour, trading precious time for money, and the other is designing value that earns while they're sleeping.
And with agentic AI just around the corner, we're talking about systems that think, learn, and act without constant oversight. That's powerful.
And that brings us to step 3, build lean, test early, refine often. Now, unfortunately, this is where perfectionism kills dreams. People wait too long to launch. They try to make it pretty, polished, and perfect.
Meanwhile, someone else shows up with duct tape version that actually works, and they win. Truth, you don't always need a 5-page business plan. You need a sketch, a test, and a customer.
Now, version 1 is allowed to be a little ugly, even a little messy, but it better be useful. Get it in the hands of real people. Get feedback, adjust, iterate, then ship it again.
Ugly might even be an advantage. It makes you listen harder and adapt faster. And just a side note to all my entrepreneurs, done is better than perfect, because perfect never pays the bills.
And finally, there's step 4. Now, this is the heartbeat of what we teach. Your greatest asset in business is you, your perspective, your voice, your values, your lived experience.
Exactly. People aren't buying AI. They're buying your lens on how to use it. They want to trust someone who understands them, speaks their language, and solves their problems. AI can scale your reach, but it can't replace your relationship.
So, if you're wondering where to start, then start there. Your human perspective is the value. So let AI be the amplifier. It's not the star of the show. All right, let's bring this home. You've got the mindset, you've got the strategy. So let's send you out with clarity and a bold little challenge to carry into your week. Right, Hal?
Oh, it's go time, all right. And I've got a challenge in mind. Imagine yourself 6 months from now, not scrolling job boards, but closing on your 10th client. Not begging for a raise, but setting your own revenue goals. Stay tuned.
Laid off, starting over, or maybe finally betting on yourself. Whatever brought you here, you've got one thing in common with thousands of solopreneurs right now. You're doing it all alone, and you don't have time to waste. So when people say, use AI, you think, how? What for? And who's got time to figure that out? Well, that's where the impact framework comes in. This isn't just another list of prompts. It's a strategy, a way of thinking that helps you communicate with AI like a digital leader. It's the how to think before the what to write. So whether you're crafting your first brand message, generating content that actually sounds like you, or trying to understand your numbers without an MBA, Impact helps you turn AI into your most reliable business partner. Because when you're striking out on your own, AI isn't just nice to have, it's the difference between sinking and swimming. You made it, and that tells me something important. You're not just curious about change, you're ready to become the change. Now, you've heard the headlines, you've seen the layoffs, you know the world isn't going back to normal. And honestly, that might be great news.
Because here's what we've seen time and time again, both in our own lives and with entrepreneurs we coach. The people who win in seasons of uncertainty aren't the ones that wait for things to get better. They don't wait for perfect clarity. They move with intention. They build while others hesitate.
So here's your challenge: simple, specific, and powerful.
Write down one offer, one skill, one problem you solve, one idea you're ready to test. Doesn't need to be polished. It just needs to be real.
And then tell someone, post it, email it, share it with a friend over coffee, with one person who could say, yes, I need that.
Because clarity doesn't come from just thinking. It comes from moving. Your idea doesn't count until someone hears it. Thinking, that's the seed. Moving, that's where it begins.
And if you're not sure what your offer is yet, well, start with this question. What's something I have solved 100 times for free that people might actually pay for?
This isn't just about AI, it's about human agency. AI can help you produce a structure, scale it, automate it, but the spark, that starts with you.
Now, this is your reset button, a chance to start building. Take that pink slip and turn it into a blueprint for a startup with AI by your side.
This season isn't about scrambling to survive. It's about learning to build differently. The future isn't waiting, and neither should you. Grasp hold of the opportunity. Let AI partner with you, amplify your ideas, and give you leverage.
Now that's it for today's episode of Small Business Big AI. Thanks so much for tuning in. I want to leave you with this. We are living through a rare window, a once-in-a-generation reset. Now the rules are being rewritten. The tables are being rearranged. And for small business owners, creators, and first-time founders, there has never been a better time to claim your seat at the table. So don't wait for someone to hand you a plan. Build one. You're ready. Now, if this episode lit something up inside of you, well, share it. Send it to a friend who's stuck in that post-layoff limbo. And tag me on LinkedIn with your one offer. Let's turn this from a podcast into a movement of small businesses going big with AI.
And as always, we're cheering you on from the other side of the mic. Until next time, keep embracing change, keep innovating, and remember, the future of your business is bigger than you think.
And the steps you take today will shape the legacy you build tomorrow. Now, I'm Kim.
And I'm Hal. And this has been Small Business Big AI.
Thanks for listening.
Now go build something brave.